Guys, just like that, I'm back with another Portable Clint. Here's the deal. The guest I'm about to have on, I've already had on before, but we had technical difficulties. And I shot him, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 months ago. So I had to have him come way later so I would forget everything he told me. But he's back. Ladies and gentlemen, Chip Chinery.
Hi. Thank you for having me back, Clint.
Dude, you are back, brother. You are back.
Sorry about the technical difficulties.
It's okay. That's only happened twice.
Okay.
The first time a person said something, just something really little, and they really regretted it. And all the way home, they were like, I shouldn't have said that, shouldn't have said that. And then they called me up and go, Clint, please don't play that.
Right.
So I did it.
Okay.
But anyway, Chip.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
We're at 2 o'clock at Farmer's Market. This is a different time, but I wanted to make sure this happened.
Yes, and I'm glad we're here because, as you see back there, there's toffee.
Yes.
I've been lured by toffee. They have great toffee.
How do you know about this place having toffee? Tell me about that.
The only time I've come, I didn't even know about this place forever. Like, I just didn't really know about it. I've been here since '94, and then all of a sudden, I happened upon it, and they had toffee. And I taste toffee. I like toffee, so I need more toffee in my life.
Toffee's good. Okay, Chip.
Yes.
I literally have no idea. We did this before, and I have no idea.
We have a rehearsal.
We didn't rehearse. We should have. Chip, where are you from?
Cincinnati, Ohio.
I remember now.
Yeah.
When did you? Anything else on that?
No, I was born and raised there, and moved out here in '94. That was my. I bet that's where you were going with it.
Well, just hold on.
Slow it down.
Chip, what movie did you watch? What thing happened when you go, I want a piece of that?
I used to. My mom would watch the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson at 11:30 every night.
By the way, do you have Sirius XM?
No, but my next door neighbor does, and he had that on there.
The Johnny Carson Show, the best channel on Sirius XM. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I had to say that. Go ahead.
So yeah, so my bedroom and my mom and dad's bedroom and mine shared a wall, so I would sit out in the hallway and look straight down through my parents' door to the TV, and I'd watch Carson do his monologue.
Awesome.
And I would just sit there quietly, and sometimes I'd sneak out into the room, and because if they'd have a comedian on, they knew I liked him. And again, it was 11:30 at night. But on
Did
Friday
they kind of know you were watching?
Yeah, because there would be a lot of times they had to get up and go use the restroom, and they go, "Get to bed." I'm like, sorry. But that was a thing. It's like I love that. I love that idea that here's Johnny Carson, a guy from Nebraska who's the king of TV, and he's a comedian, and I just loved it. People are gravitated toward things, and I was gravitated.
Sure.
Maybe.
Sure.
I liked it. I liked comedy. It was something I was like, I want to be a guy on TV being funny.
Okay, so that was it.
My goal.
Okay, so when did you start thinking about packing up the car and moving to Hollywood?
Well, I started writing jokes when I was 13.
What was the first joke you wrote?
Well, do birds come from bird seed? That was one.
I like it. Keep it.
Some kids, I told my dad, I was at school and kids were yelling, whale on the beach at me because I was overweight. And he said, oh, don't be kidding. Don't, whatever, son. They were just kidding you. Everybody knows there's no beach at your school. So I was so fat I had to, even if I looked at a gas station pump, the bell would ring. These are classic Chinery from 1981.
Chineries. I love Chineries.
But I had a Nixon from Maxell tape joke. That was my best joke.
Too soon.
I know. But so I wrote these jokes when I was 13, and then when I was 16, I started doing stand-up at a bar in Cincinnati at the University of Cincinnati campus called DWI, D.W.EYE.
Sure.
And this was 6 months after Jimmy Carter left office, so this is a long time ago. And my Nixon joke was, I set it up like this. A lot of actors do commercials. A lot of athletes. I think the next phase is going to be politicians doing commercials. And I think one might go like this, and I'd turn around and do my hair and come out and be Richard Nixon. And I'd say, back in the early 1970s, I needed a tape I could rely on. And I pulled out my Maxell tape, and that was their slogan for the time period. And it was a solid joke, I must say. But again, it was 1981 when I was doing it, and he resigned in '74. So,
all right, Chip.
Not timely.
You load up the car.
Yes.
Do you know anybody in Hollywood when you're driving towards it?
Yes, because I started doing open mics when I was 16 at this bar in 1981.
Is that the TGMI bar? Which one is that bar called again?
DWI.
Oh, dude, sorry. Go ahead. Wait, the bar is called DWI.
A bar was called DWI.
Okay,
So-
well in Texas, that's what you get if you get pulled over by the
Exactly.
cops.
At the time, that's what it was in Cincinnati too. They called it a DWI.
Okay, I don't know why I missed
Now
that
it's
the
DUI.
first time you told the story.
Yeah, that's why it's so weird to me that
Okay,
that would be
well,
the name of a
shoot,
bar.
okay, all
It was
right.
Mad Mothers Against Drunk Driving weren't that strong
All right.
yet. So that was the bar, and I started there with guys.
We're
like
still
John
on the
Reed.
bar at 5 minutes in.
Yeah, it's a good bar. A lot of guys made it out. One guy is a big TV writer now. John Regi started there. He
Okay.
worked on anyway. This isn't John Regi on a portable
No,
Clint.
it's
That's
not.
a whole
it's
other
not.
portable Clint.
Exactly. Go ahead.
So anyway, I long story short, I did about 100 amateur nights from 81 to 88.
That's pretty good, man.
Well, it's like what, 10 a year,
Sure.
12 a year.
Yeah.
So that's not really getting after it as I should. But anyway, I started touring full time as a comic in '88, and I did the road for 5.5 years and 50 weeks a year. Then I moved to LA in '94.
Okay.
That was my move.
Where did you move to?
I moved to North Hollywood. So I did, to answer your question, I had a lot of comedian friends here. So it wasn't
Okay.
like I was coming out cold. I had all kinds of friends, dozens of friends who were out here living.
Okay.
Guys I'd met on the road.
So Chip, here's the first thing that I remember about you. Okay, you had a headshot, and you know where I'm going with this, right? His name is Chip Chinery, and he had a headshot with, with doing this, but he also had this. Like you're like,
Classic.
wait, it was a classic. Did that get you into a lot of doors?
It got indoors and out of doors. There were casting people who loved it and got it that I was being subtle, because at the time there were a lot of headshots and people had their this going
Sure.
or this, and I just thought, oh, it'd be funny to have a third hand, so third fist, and I cropped it. It wasn't like I was going whoa.
Right.
I thought it was subtle. I thought it was making fun of those other headshots.
Yeah.
So some people got my point of view on it and thought it was funny. Other people like, oh, this guy. I might as well just had a shoe to my ear, talking on a phone, juggling. I don't know what. Some people thought it was this
kinda
guy's
like
a
that
horrible
idea.
hack. So some people got it and loved it, and others like, oh. So it was tough to get into some doors because they're like, thought I was an idiot.
Okay, what's the first? Was that your very first headshot?
Yeah, my
Okay.
first time.
What was the first door you got into in LA?
First door. Well, I don't like a show that
Yeah, well, like a casting director who's somebody who called you in and who kind of opened the doors for you.
Yeah, Arlene Schuster-Goss was a big champion of mine.
Awesome.
Her
She's an
husband,
awesome lady.
yeah, her husband at
Fred?
the time, Fred Goss, was an actor. He was at the Acme Comedy Theater with me, and I was getting really close to booking my first commercial, and Arlene said, "I'm going to get you your first commercial." And so that was really cool. She's like, she'd call me in all the time, and the first commercial I got was in May of '97. It was for Six Flags Hurricane Harbor, and I was a guy going up and down the water slides in a suit, and it aired for a summer, and it was a nice buyout they gave me, and I was in showbiz, baby.
Okay, that was in May. You rode into town earlier in '97.
I rode into town in '94.
Wait, did you say that earlier? Okay, let's say '94. You started because you had a lot of comedian friends. You did stand-up.
Yes.
You started doing Groundlings.
I did, yeah. So
Who told you to go to Groundlings?
I just knew of the Groundlings because I was into comedy and into sketch. And so when
Okay.
I moved out here with a plan, I moved out January of '94. I was going to take the first two Groundlings classes. They had 2 classes a week for 6 weeks, and I was like, I'm going to knock out both of those in the first 3 months I'm here, because then I had to go back on the road in April. And so, all good plans, best laid plans. I took the basic class, and they said, you got to repeat. And I'm like,
Oh man.
dude, I'm not new to this. I took stuff at Second City. I'm not really. And he's, I'm like, so I was
What
like,
was the
nah.
reasoning why? Because they needed money that month, or because you really were lacking something?
Well, I don't, I don't think I'm ridiculous when I say I think I could easily have moved out of basic.
Yeah, I think
but
you could
some
have moved
people are
out
like,
of basic. too.
no, you gotta, who knows? Who knows
Anybody
why?
in that group that went on to make it besides yourself?
Brian Adams, he went on to
Awesome
write.
singer.
Oh, different guy.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It was Brian Adams who became a writer. I know he did Mad TV for a long time and sketch, and so he went into the writing
Anyone
world.
who else made it
No.
besides Brian?
Toshi was in my class.
Who?
Toshi. I don't know. A guy named Toshi was in my class.
Okay, so
He
you're
was-
doing that from '94
So I came out here, took the groundlings class. They didn't move me up. I was like, well, that screws up everything. I don't agree with you. So if you're not gonna, so I
But
just
sometimes those are blessing in disguise.
Yeah, you never know. Whatever, your life changes by whatever bus you catch. So I said I don't want to do this, and I asked the teacher point blank. I'm like, well, who else teaches improv? And he's like, well, Cynthia Zaghetti does. Cynthia is she was affiliated with the Groundlings. Then she left there and was affiliated with the Acme Comedy Theater.
Okay.
And so I started taking class from her. Cynthia, you may know as Jerry on Seinfeld. Jerry Seinfeld's old girlfriend in the episode where they couldn't find the Tropic of Cancer book.
Yes.
The Tropic of
Yes.
Capricorn.
Yes.
And he calls up his old girlfriend, and that was Cynthia. So Cynthia,
Yes.
she's recently passed away, so get a little nod out to Cynthia.
Okay.
But so I started taking class at the Acme Theater, still doing stand-up on the road, 94, 95, 96. And then worked my way through the Acme program and got in the writers program there, and then was asked to be in the company. So I joined the company in March of 96.
Okay. 97, you book your first official gig.
Yes. Yeah.
Hurricane Harbor.
Yeah.
When do you start booking theatrical?
Well, I'll tell you this, just as far as perseverance, it was Six Flags Hurricane Harbor was my 160th audition.
Really?
Yeah. So,
How do you know it was your 160th audition?
Because I'm a counter. I have
Prove
lists.
Prove it.
Let me put on my glasses. I have lists
Look
right
at this,
here.
guys. Look
this
at this.
Is my audition sheet. This is something. It's much more thorough at home.
Show how many pages you got.
So this is for TV and films. How many auditions I had, callbacks, and
this is your whole career right here.
This is my commercials. I can tell you how many auditions I went on that year. You can look at it yourself. You can see the drop off in the recent years.
I love it, dude.
So I've booked 74 commercials. I've booked.
Well, you booked
74 commercials, 70 TV shows, 65 voiceovers, and one hosting gig that didn't go for Family Food.
Chip,
it's like Family Feud, but it's about food.
I love that you have that. I used to do something like this, but never had a printout of it.
Yeah, I just printed them.
I've written down every single job I've ever booked. Whenever I book, my proudest moment is that night. I get to go home and get that piece of paper out and write it down.
I have that. I have the year in review. We got the numbers of shows and things.
Okay, so Chip,
I think that's just the way people. Why do you do that? I think it's to mark how close you're getting, because you know how it is. You audition for something, and then you get closer if you get a call back, and then you get closer if you get put on a veil.
Yes.
And then you book, so you can have little stages, and I can look at this and say, well, I booked 1 out of 12. That's good. I'm getting closer. Or I've hit a dry spell. I'm just trying to put some control on something I have no control over.
Chip, I love it. I love it. Be okay. Listen, we're going to go over this, but we're going to verbally go over it.
Sure.
Before, how many false starts do you feel like you've had in this career? Like, how many times did you think, okay, I am now in a row, I'm going to make it now?
I thought, so I started booking commercials in 97.
Okay.
And I was doing like 1 a month. All of a sudden it broke for me. So I started doing 1 a month, and then
Is it because you had confidence? What do you think it was that once a month?
Super confident, because I was getting put on a veil. I think we can go to the records if we need to. But I was getting put on a veil all the time, and I was like, when am I going to book something? This is ridiculous. Once I was so close. I auditioned for an AT&T spot, flew off to Minneapolis to do stand-up comedy for the week at the Acme Comedy Company. Landed, checked my pager, checked my voicemail or answering machine. My agent said, hey, you got a call back tomorrow for AT&T. And I was like, I think I can book this thing. And I had frequent flyer miles, so I called the comedy club. Can you guys cover me tonight and tomorrow? Yeah. So I booked a flight, flew right back to LA, got in my car, drove it to my apartment, got up the next morning, did the audition, got back on a plane, went to Minneapolis, and I got there, and the message was that you're second choice. So I was getting really close and really wanting to do it, but it didn't happen until May of 97. So that was that the question? I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying, have you had a lot of false starts where you thinking, okay, this is I'm going to make it?
Well, 98. So 97, I'm doing really well. 98 happens, and I'm still doing really well. I had a little mini campaign for Bud Light going. People were recognizing me, which is fun.
What'd you do in it?
I was Eddie from Bud Light. I was a dumb guy who looked a lot like me, and I was me and my buddies and I would always do things to get out of work. So the first one was about how, we're pretending to be working on something, but we're not. And then the joke was that I had a fake body. We all had fake bodies that we...
Yes.
It's on chipchinery.com if you'd like to
Okay,
check
yeah,
it
I've
out.
seen this, yes.
But I was under a lawnmower, clearly not
Yes.
fixing a lawnmower when half my body was under it. And so then we got busted, and then people liked it, so we did another one with Sean Hayes, young young actor named Sean Hayes.
Sean Hayes booked the gig. I'm sorry to make it about me for a second.
It's a portable Clint.
But Sean Hayes helped me out one time by getting sick.
Yeah.
He booked the commercial. I was second choice. He gets sick the morning of the commercial, and they had to frantically call me up saying, "Hey, can you come in and fill in for Sean Hayes?"
Nice.
And then a month later, he made it. But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, it's because Sean shot his Will and Grace pilot in spring of '98, and I got cast in an NBC sketch comedy, primetime comedy show called Primetime Comedy, and George Slaughter was producing it. He's famous from Laugh-In and Sonny and Cher and all these other shows. And I'm like, this is a guy. He's huge. And I'm on this thing, and it's a primetime sketch comedy show. And I've been doing sketch at the Acme Theater. Had some really good sketches, I think, and he did too. So I got to be in this cast with a bunch of guys from the Groundlings and Acme. And I remember as they were shooting, like, okay, we're going to shoot the titles now, like with you, and shows are, hey, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I'm in my mind as I'm doing this, I'm going, this is how it's going to take off. This is what it is. It's going to go. And it didn't go. And the show didn't go. I have a thing framed from a note from George Slaughter saying, hey, on his stationery, which is great, with a Hirschfeld caricature of him with his Emmys. And he's like, hey, just ran these things past NBC. They love it. I'm sure we're going to work together soon. And it just didn't go. So I thought that was going to go.
Okay. Chip, when did you book Third Rock from the Sun? Was that before or after this?
That was before that. So that was one of the first. That was my very first sitcom.
And you booked one.
I booked one.
And it turns out that they brought you back a few times. Is that correct?
Yeah, I did it 4 times as their maintenance guy. It was the people that were really nice, and if you're not a jerk and you hit your marks and people like you, they go, let's bring him back.
Yeah. Did you think that you would be coming back after the first shot, after the first time?
No, it was. I didn't. I had 7 words. I mean, I was scared. And I kept telling myself, dude, this is just like being at Acme, acting with Jeff Lewis or Bill Rademacher, but you're with John Lithgow. Just pretend it's one of those guys.
And a live studio audience.
Yeah. And I was like, well, don't worry about that. I've done thousands of shows and stand-up, so that's fine. You're not scared of that. And it's just forget it's John Lithgow. And
is it John Lithgow or John Lithgow?
I think it's Lithgow, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
I hope it is.
I always forget to ask this question at the beginning, and I want to get better at it. What did you want to accomplish when you moved out here? What was the dream of yours when you drove out here?
The goal was to be a guy who was being funny on TV. That was my thing. It always had been, I want to be a guy who was on TV being funny. And at the time, sitcoms still really big, and I guess they're not. When have they not been big? But I wanted to be a series regular on a funny sitcom.
Okay, I just need to know that. Well, I'm going to ask that question later.
Okay.
So you book Third Rock from the Sun.
Yes.
You book 4, and then you do this pilot. Think it's going to go, it doesn't go.
I did a Friends. I did a Seinfeld. Did the pilot.
Friends, Seinfeld. Those are 2 big, gigantic shows, Chip, that you're a part of.
That was yes.
What was your Seinfeld about?
It was the 3rd to the last show. It's where George wanted to be called T-Bone, and Jerry was dating his maid, and I was one of the guys in the office at Kruger Industries, where George was working, and I have one line that's clear that comes. I order a turkey sandwich, and that's, you can hear that clear as day. But other things we do is we do T-Bone and Gammy, little chants in the office, and it was great. Because I'm a huge fan of that show, Seinfeld, and I was a huge fan of MASH. And to me at the time, I was thinking, well, Seinfeld is going to go like MASH. It's going to be around forever, and it is 20 years later, and it's still on, just like MASH was and is. And I thought, in the future, somebody's going, oh, hey, there's our grandpa as an MP on MASH. People are going to go, they're going to see Seinfeld for a long time.
Any backstory to Seinfeld? Anything that happened on set? Anything that stood out to you on that set? Was it a 3-day or a 5-day?
Well, yeah, Jerry got laryngitis. We were hired for 2 days. I was anyway.
Okay, well, shoot day was on what day?
I could check my notes.
No, you don't have to check
Probably
your notes.
Friday by then.
Okay, let's say Friday. So
Yeah,
you
'cause
show up Thursday morning. Go ahead.
Jerry got laryngitis so they said, okay, we're gonna have to not work today. So maybe it was like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Anyway, we got an extra day out of it because Jerry had to rest his voice, and they addressed it in the show at the beginning. So like, hey, what's wrong with your voice, George? And they're at the diner eating, and Jerry's like, I was heckling. I was doing a gig at a rodeo, and I was getting heckled. So he got his voice got scratched up from heckling or yelling at the hecklers or something. So they address it, but Jerry did have laryngitis, had to rest his voice for a day. So as a result, we all got an extra day. So maybe I was hired for 3 days and it was turned into 4. I forget exactly, but
Any of the actors all nice to you?
Jason Alexander, great dude. Super.
You ever see him on the streets?
I do. I play poker, and so now and then I'll run into him because he's a poker player.
Chip, am I really missing out by not playing poker? Because I feel like there are so many people in Hollywood who ask me to go play poker, and I feel like it's always the coolest crowd. And
Who asked you to play poker? I don't know any cool people.
well, you guys are cool who play poker, but I mean, I'm not gonna get into names, but
Yeah.
I feel like that's always like more people ask me to play poker than golf.
I was gonna say poker is the new golf in that it's easy and people like to play it, and there is networking. I actually, from poker, I met Dory Zuckerman, who cast me in Wilfred. She brought me in for that. I did a couple episodes of that.
Because of poker?
Yeah, because I didn't know her, and then she's like, "Oh, I should bring you in for this." I'm like, "Great!" So I did that because of that. I'm sure there's other things that are related to poker.
Okay.
Off the top of my head, I can't think. But what was it? What was the thing? How did we get into poker? Oh yeah, Jason Alexander. He is super nice guy. What? Huh?
I just asked if you ever see him, and like, did he remember you from the show and stuff?
Yeah, he was very nice because after that he did some show called Whitey, and it was a pilot, and I read for that. Oh, and I did Rocky and Bullwinkle movie, my first movie,
Right,
and he was there.
yes.
And he was at the table read. Now, I can't expect him to remember me, but
Sure.
we all have little nameplates out there, and he came up right after the table read. Chip, how you doing? Just like we're best
Awesome,
friends,
awesome.
which is tremendous.
That means the world to us when that happens, right?
Yeah.
Something so small is gigantic to us.
Because everybody goes home, oh, Jason Alexander. Right now, I'm talking about it 20 years
Yes,
later.
exactly.
It's not like, oh,
Yes.
Jason Alexander, what a jerk. No, he's a great guy. It's great. Why not be nice? You're on top of the world.
Chip, I'm going to ask you something.
Yeah.
I'm kind of going ahead of this conversation.
Yes.
From 2007 to 2019, you have a credit on IMDb every single year except for 2012.
Really?
Are you familiar with that?
I didn't know that, but I believe it.
Okay, why?
Yeah.
What happened in 2012 for you?
I think part of it was there was a time from 1990. Well, I'm hot off the pilot, the NBC sketch pilot that
Sure,
went nowhere.
sure,
I was going to be
sure.
a star. So around 99, I had done probably 10 little co-star parts on sitcoms. And as you folks may guess, when you're on a sitcom, you're the series regulars. The people are every week. Recurring right after that, they're not there every week. Then there's guest stars who have probably a couple scenes, and there's co-stars. Co-stars are the, hey, here's your pizza, thanks for coming.
That's what I am. Go ahead.
But so I had done enough of the here's your pizzas.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know from stand-up I'm not going to move up the ladder from opening act, middle act to headliner unless I say no to the opening work. So I'm going to start saying no to the opening work of acting and just look at the feature work or guest stars. And so my agent and I said, great, we're not going to take anything less. You're Chip Chinery, for crying out loud. You've got all these commercials, and we're going to just take guest stars only. From 99 to 2016, I was only doing guest stars unless somebody
Do you
gave
have a
me
nice
something.
savings account at this time in your life?
Well, I moved out here. Thankfully, I live. Yes.
Okay,
That's
go
a
ahead.
short range.
Yeah.
I came out here with $20,000.
Why so much, man? I can't. Dang, dude.
Well, I tell you, it's directly because I lived at home. I lived at home while I was doing the road from '88 to '94. And if I made $300, if I would have put $300 a month to rent, which is roughly what it was then, that roughly comes out to $20,000. So because I didn't have to pay rent, I had a war chest to come out here.
Oh, that's a great war chest.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Have you ever gone below 20,000 in your savings account? We don't have to get to it, but that's great, Chip.
No, I don't think I have.
But Chip, wait, pulling over really quick.
Sure.
You've also helped out some actors, and you have a great thing called Chip Chinery's Money Tips.
ChipsMoneyTips.com, people.
Say
That's
it
true.
again?
Chips Money Tips. There's actually a great tip on there from today. What is October 30th? 28th?
October 29th.
29th.
29th. What's your tip for today?
It's about SoFi, which is, they have the naming rights to the Chargers Stadium. But besides that, they're trying to get new people to invest in their thing. So if you open a SoFi Money account using a link you find at chipsmoneytips.com from Chip Chinery, you'll get $50 for opening the account.
Okay.
And then once your account's open, all you got to do is fund it with $100. So you click on my link, you open your SoFi account, put $100 in there. Then you have an account that's open and you can refer people, just like I referred you through my link. When you refer somebody, they give you $100. So you could click on my link, then open your account with $100, and then you give it to your wife, your husbands, your mom and dad, whatever. They all open it up, and for everyone they open, you get $100. So you can actually get up to $10,000 in referrals before they say that's enough.
Okay, well, Chip, I hope you get your $10,000.
But I think you should do this too.
I will do it. I will do it.
And you, what are you guys doing?
Yeah. Okay, Chip. So
Thanks.
you've always worked as an actor.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Since '97, I've had it's been my job, and it's worked out.
Tell me the tough years.
Well, '99 was a tough year. I've had big years that then it would go like 2 strong years, and then it slows down. 2 strong years. So '99 was a down year. 2000, 2001, then it slowed down. 2002. I think this trying to only do guest stars is like when you mentioned how I had a hole in I didn't book anything in 2012. That was.
I'm embarrassed for you.
No, I have to go back to the paper here. Why didn't I book anything in 2012?
2012.
Oh, I booked something, but I don't know exactly.
Okay.
But I think it was because I was holding out for better things.
Which I feel like a lot of actors go that way. 9 out of 10 times they quickly crumble and go, agent, forget what I said. I don't care what you're saying, agent. Get me back into co-stars. I just want to work.
Yeah.
I just want to work.
And that's where I went in the last few years, because we used to do a lot of commercials.
Yes.
And now my auditions, I just went on my 13th audition of the year. 13 auditions where I used to get close to 200. And I can tell you exactly.
Do you have all of the casting directors for those 13?
Yes.
Can you tell me?
I don't have it here, but I have it in my
Who
files.
is your biggest casting director this year? This year, not your favorite, but who's your big casting director?
Well, I've only had 13 auditions, you know.
Okay,
so
well, still, that could be 13
I
different.
think Francine Selkirk's brought me in a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it used to be that we'd have a couple hundred auditions a year, so it's really gone down because a lot of the work's gone to non-union. And so when that happened, I was like, oh, so I used to have money coming in for commercials, and that's great. But then, now I really can't be choosy about guest stars only because the commercial money went away. So I still have to make money to get health insurance, make a pension credit. So a few years ago, I said to my agent, let's focus on me working more.
Chip.
In smaller parts is what I'm getting at. Smaller parts that might recur is what we try to do.
So you don't care now if you go for a co-star?
No, because in '98, as you know, I was really hot property over at NBC, going to have a sketch comedy show. And that was 20 years ago. So I don't think they're breaking any hot new talent in their 40s or so.
You have 70. Maybe. You have 70 IMDb credits. Yep. Name me your top 3 favorites out of those, and why.
Well, I just did an episode of Shameless.
Yeah, yes, you did. I want to hear about that. I want to hear about Shameless, and don't forget, I also want to hear about Space Cowboys. Okay, but go ahead. But Shameless is important. I love this story. Go ahead.
I love Shameless, and so many times you audition for things and you don't. It's a show you don't even watch, or whatever. But shows that I've watched all the runs of: Friends, Seinfeld, and Shameless. I've watched Shameless. This is season 10, I think we did. And to be on a show that you like and watch is just remarkable. So I was so happy to do it, and I had a fun little scene.
And there is somewhat talk, not to get ahead of ourselves, but that you may come back.
Yeah, that's what they said. So I hope they're right.
I do too, man. I do too. I'm a big fan of you, and I just want you to keep working.
Thank you.
Okay, so Shameless is one. What's the other 2 favorites?
Well, it's really Friends and Seinfeld, because those are shows I really like.
Okay.
Now, I like Third Rock from the Sun as well. The people were really awesome there. I just did an episode of The Conners, and that was my 40th different sitcom. So it's funny when people say, what sitcoms have you been on? And I was like, because I keep track of things. It's
Yeah.
my 40th different sitcom.
It's a lot of sitcoms,
Yeah,
Chip.
it's ridiculous. So the idea that I wanted to be a guy coming out here to Hollywood to be funny on TV, you know, I've had that happen, and it's really, looking back, it's pretty cool.
Chip, have you ever trained as an actor before?
I took a cold reading class from Cecily Adams. Took one briefly from Ian Tucker when I moved out here to town. Cecily's former casting director. She was an Acme Comedy Theater actor with me when I was there, and she cast Third Rock from the Sun after I got it. Gail Pillsbury put me on it the first time.
Okay.
And then Cecily also cast That 70s Show, and then she passed away, I think it was in 2004. She was a good friend and a good coach, too. She played Moogie on Deep Space Nine, I think. I'm not sure, Star Trek fans, forgive me if I'm getting the name of the show wrong, but she was on Star Trek in one of the shows after the original Star Trek and played Moogie's mom. Maybe it was Moogie's mom.
Okay.
Sorry if I don't know the name of it.
Chip, tell me your 3 worst experiences out of your 70 credits. Or you don't even, it could be a commercial too, but give me some bad times.
Bad times. Well, I had my first film out here was my friend Jordan Brady put me in Night of the Living Sludge, which was a
Wait,
PSA.
how do I know
of
Jordan
some-
Brady?
You don't know Jordan?
No, I do know him. That's how do I know him though?
He's a commercial director.
Okay, yes.
Or he does.
Yes,
He's a director
yes.
who does a lot of commercials, I should
Okay,
say.
okay, go
Somebody
ahead.
once called me a commercial actor, and I was like, why am I a commercial actor? I've done
I used to
almost
be
as many
offended
TV
by
shows.
that. I know. But go ahead.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
tell me, why was that bad?
Oh, because I had to wear a rubber mask as I was a sludge monster, and I don't like things on my face, and it was filled with lotion, soapy lotion that was the ooze, and I just had to put a mask on my face that was covered in ooze. I didn't like that. That was terrible. I didn't like that at all.
Okay, I'm going to mention one. I'm asking you for your 3. That's one,
Okay.
but I'm going to maybe mention one. And tell me about your experience on it. Space Cowboys,
Yes,
directed by Clint Eastwood.
that was fantastic.
All-star cast.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Okay.
I can tell you. Well, yeah, you got more. You're loading up more in there.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying.
I loved it.
You loved it.
Yes. Did you?
No, I loved it. But I'm talking about you as an actor.
Okay.
But unfortunately, Hollywood happened to you,
Yes.
and you got cut out.
I guess I've been blocking it. Yes, that
Okay.
would be a bad thing because I went to the premiere for the cast and crew, and
And you were
watching the
expecting to see
movie.
yourself, right? You had
Yeah.
no idea.
no, and I'm watching, and I go, my part should have been by now, and then it ended the movie, and my name's not in the credits. I'm like, does my buddy think I'm insane for saying I was in the movie? And the very next day, I got a nice letter from the producer saying, sorry.
Wait. Do you think the producers saw you there and go, "Oh, poor Chip, he has no idea. I better send him a note tomorrow"?
I don't think he did that. He was very cool. I think he probably just sent it, and it just didn't get in the mail to me in time. And but doing that shoot was amazing because I remember auditioning for it, and then my agent called me up and said, "Hey, okay, you want to do this Space Cowboys? It's only $900." And I'm like, "Is it still being directed by Clint Eastwood? Is it still a movie?" Yes, I will do him a solid. I'll do it. I'll do Dirty Harry a solid. Keep it all good. And then, so I get to my trailer, the day of the shoot. I'm looking at the sides. You know, we got the script for the day they're shooting. They have 2 different scenes. I look at both scenes. They're ready for you. Okay, so I go on to set, and I Clint Eastwood. It's Clint Eastwood. You know, it's amazing. And then
Anything stand out about him before you move on?
just that he's Clint Eastwood.
Okay.
In real life, you just feel starstruck.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was
that's-
named after him. So
You were?
Yeah, 100%.
Wow. Yeah, and he was there, and then Donald
Tommy
Sutherland's
Lee
there.
Jones was.
Well, I didn't see Tommy Lee Jones or James Garner, but
Okay.
Donald Sutherland's there too, and I meet them. They go, "Oh, this is Clint Eastwood. It's Donald. Hey guys, what's up?" And then they kind of herd me into a chair, and I'm sitting there across from Donald Sutherland, and he starts to kind of look at me like, "Let's rehearse," and I'm like, "I'm not in this scene." And they go, Clint laughs. Yeah, exactly. That's the kind of relationship you guys have. It's kind of like that. I go, no, you don't understand. I'm not in this scene. That's in the scene before. I'm in the next scene. I'm Ted, not Tom. And he's like, no, you're supposed to be in this scene. I go, the PA comes over. Didn't you get the script? I go, yeah, I got the script. And I'm supposed to be in the other scene. Clint's like, all right, so we'll just take 5 minutes and set it up, and we'll do it. I go, okay. I see the script. And thankfully, it was all kind of just reacting to Donald Sutherland. I didn't have
Were
to...
you sweating? I mean,
yeah.
what? Oh, Chip, that's.
I was like, did I screw up? I'm in a movie with Clint Eastwood finally, and Donald Sutherland, and I don't know. what?
That's like a nightmare.
Yeah, but they were very cool. Like the producer was very cool. They gave me the Avid output of that, so I have that scene.
Did you
on my website.
Did you ask for that once you got cut out?
Yeah, I always ask for things. I remember asking them. I said, "Well, will you guys have a DVD of outtakes?" And they go, "No, we don't do those." So we'll get you a copy. Really? Yeah. So they were super cool about that. That was fantastic. Except for I would have liked to be been in the movie.
Yeah. You don't get no residuals on that, unfortunately.
I get nothing. I was in Coyote Ugly. That was a big movie for me. Played a cop.
Okay.
And you know who the other cop was? Nick Vallelonga, who you may remember from the Green Book. He
Yes.
wrote it. Was his dad's story.
Yes,
and
yes.
He wrote it, and so it's like, I saw the posters for the Green Book. I'm like, Nick Vallelonga, I know that dude. Same guy? Yep.
A lot of people were in Coyote Ugly.
Yeah.
Johnny Knoxville was in that.
Was he?
movie. Yeah. Before I think he became Johnny Knoxville.
Oh, really?
Okay. Chip, that's 2. Is there
2.
one more I need to know about? Bad days
Bad
on
days?
set, or just a tough time in Hollywood? Where you didn't think, why am I doing this?
I think just part of the realization I had in 2016 was that when I was holding out for guest stars, I'm like, I reached a point, I was like, why am I here? Why am I sitting in my house saying that I'm an actor and I don't go out there and act? So, you know, I got to drop this whole I only do guest stars thing. You do 1 or 2 a year, and that's, you know, I'm glad I made peace with it and just said, all right, let's go. So let's go do other things. Get out there. People go, oh, you're fantastic. Oh, you're this or that. I did an episode of, is this where I brag about myself?
No, this is about you. I want you to brag.
Okay. Well, it was, to me, it's like, they say in life you should overfill your space. Be better than what the job is. You know, you go the extra mile. So doing smaller parts is really not that difficult.
No.
You know how it is. We can do this easily. I did an episode of The Kids Are All Right, and Debbie Romano, casting director, called me up or emailed me, hey, one of the writers asked if you'd read for this, and I know you can do this in your sleep. If you don't want to do it, just say so. But I'm like, no, I'll do it. And it was kind of funny, you know, it was a funny little scene, and the show's gone now, but I got to do it, and when I was on, things happen when you do something. So I did the show, or I got hired to do the show. I went to the table read. That's where everybody in the cast sits around in a table and reads it out loud to the people who write the show, and people get a feel for it.
Sometimes people get fired from table reads.
Have you ever had that?
I've heard that several times.
Yeah, you should bring it, they say.
Yeah, bring it.
Yeah, don't just say, no, I'll get it on set.
Yeah.
You want to just put your best foot forward.
Yeah, you sure do.
But I did the table read, and afterward, one of the kids on the show, he played the oldest kid, Sam Straley, came up to me and said, hey, you're from Cincinnati. I'm from Cincinnati. I go, oh, yeah, great. Where are you from? He goes, oh, East Side. I go, oh, I'm from East Side. Where? And he said, oh, Anderson Township. But yeah, that's where I'm from. Where'd you grow up? What street? He goes, oh, off of Salem. I go, I grew up on Salem. What was the street? He goes, Holtz. I go, dude, if you pull out of Holtz and take a right and then look to your left, that's the driveway to my house. The driveway, our house sat behind the front row of houses, so 2 little driveways went to the back, and I go, dude, that's where I live. He goes, yeah, and you went to Guardian Angels, right? I go, yeah. He goes, yeah, I think my mom knows you. Who's your mom? Jill Grogan. I go, so your dad is Pat Crawford? And he goes, well, yeah. Like, he's the Smith's cousins who live 3 doors down, and they play football in my front yard all the time, and so it's like super small world.
But you wouldn't want to paint it.
No, I would not want to paint it. The residuals to Stephen Wright alone would kill me. So that was a fun get to know you.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Small world.
That's cool.
I'm a little jealous of that kid having a better career than I did at this point in his life.
Yeah.
What the heck? Yeah.
Chip,
Yes.
what's some of the advice that you've learned along the way? I already like what you said. Fill your space up. Overfill your space up.
People are going to think there's an earthquake.
I know. I did that. I'm
Did I
sorry.
make you
I know.
read?
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go
all right.
ahead. Go ahead.
What would my advice to people? Well,
Stuff that you've learned.
yeah. Somebody told me that John Pankow is an actor who was on Mad About You. And when I moved to town, I saw him speak to actors, and he said something like, hey, you know, when you're going on an audition, you're probably not going to get the part. So think of that as your show. You're going to do a show that day. It's going to be this commercial audition or this script that you're reading for a TV show. Make that your show. So treat it like fun and have fun and do it and put energy into it, because this may be the only time you're going to get to do it. So do that. And so I try to carry that with me to go have fun with it and have this be a performance and not worry about whether or not I book it, which is impossible, by the way, to not worry about it. Because you start booking, well, I got to book my flights here. I got to make sure I can do this and that. But another small world thing, I did a full-length motion picture, as I call them.
Full-length motion picture. Yes, you sure did.
And I was sitting there. It's Emma Stone's first movie after winning the Oscar for La La Land.
Yep.
And I was like, yeah, Steve Carell and Emma Stone, and hanging out between scenes. And I just started chatting up Emma. So where are you from? Scottsdale. Oh, she goes, where are you from? Which is right away strange because no one really cares about anyone but themselves in Hollywood.
I know. I'm really surprised that she says, where are you from?
Yeah, I was like, oh,
wait, a question
Academy Award-winning actress who just asked me a question. I say, well, I'm from Ohio, I'm from Cincinnati. She said, oh, my folks are from Columbus. They went to Miami. I go, I went to Miami. And figuring that I might be their age, I go, who are your folks? Or when did they graduate? They go 82. I go 86. Who are your folks? Blah, blah, Kathy Yeager, and she was a Delta Gamma. I go, huh. And then we went to shoot another scene, and I texted my buddy whose wife was a Delta Gamma, but the ages would be off, so maybe he knew her, but she didn't. And I said, anybody know Kathy Yeager? And then his wife gets back to me. Yeah, that's Karen's sister. Karen was my roommate with Katie. So I came back, and I knew exactly who she was. And I came back and go, Emma, the world just got smaller. I went to college with your Aunt Karen. No way! What's your name again? Katie who? Katie and Margaret? She's texting her, so it was just...
Chip, that's awesome, man. That is awesome. Yeah. Chip, before you go to a set, do you do your homework on the people you're filming with to see if you may know them or look at mutual friends, all that stuff?
I do it with IMDb because sometimes you're like, oh, wait. I did an episode of Wilfred and Randall Einhorn. Turns out he was from Cincinnati. So I said, oh, from Cincinnati, that's where I'm from. And that was great fun. I took him a can of Skyline chili, which is a Cincinnati favorite.
Skyline chili, man. That's the big thing. That's like putting chili on top of spaghetti.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes. Spaghetti, chili, cheese, that's a 3-way.
Okay.
If you have beans, it's a 4-way, or onions is a 4-way. But if you have all 5, it's called a 5-way. So, my order's I'll go in there, like a 4-way onions.
Okay. Is there any place in LA that I can get Skyline chili?
No, it gets close at Chili John's in Burbank.
Chili John's is good. I enjoy Chili John's.
Yeah, it's a little greasier than Skyline.
That's the reason why I like it.
Good.
Chip, what is it that you want to accomplish now in Hollywood? And please do not say continue working. What is it that you want? If I could grant you anything, what could I grant you?
Well, I think, because I've seen you ask this question of many of your other guests, and I don't have a great answer.
I need a great answer. No, I'm kidding.
I think you've got to be happy. I know too many people, I've been out here for a long time, and too many people are completely unhappy and they leave their life on hold. So you have to have a life. And if you're happy, just don't sit there and go, once I sell this script or once I get this part, everything's going to be fine and I'm going to be happy. Because that's probably not going to carve out your own happiness.
I'm sure you and I know a lot of people in this business who have a lot in this town who are very unhappy.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of credits.
Yeah.
And they are miserable in life.
The money and the credits don't make you happy.
They don't, man.
If you're happy beforehand, you're going to be happy later. If you're a jerk beforehand.
Chip, is there anything that we missed?
Oh, I've got a treatise I've done on all my auditions, but that's really not that necessary. Just know that they happened.
Chip, anything else I need to know about you? I'm not shutting it down, but anything else I need to know about you?
What do you want to know?
Chip,
I got the Chip's money tip. That's solid. People like
I dig your money tips. I've reached out to you a time or two.
Yeah.
And I highly recommend hooking up with Chip.
Yeah, I like saving people. I like saving money. I like telling people how to save money. Because again, your life's easier when you have money. It's a freedom.
Yeah, it is a freedom, isn't it?
Yeah.
Chip, last thing.
Yeah.
When we're done here, you're about to go to here to get toffee.
Yeah.
Why toffee?
I like, I'm a child.
Me
like
too.
Sweets.
Me too.
And that has sweet, it's sugary, I think, and it's caramel toffee.
Yeah,
it's great. I don't know. And they have chocolate too on top of it, don't they?
They have both. They
Are you a
have both.
Score bar or a Heath bar guy
Oh,
normally?
that's a good question. I love a good Heath. Yeah.
I went off Heath a long time ago, but I really like a Heath ice cream bar.
That sounds good.
You peel off the toffee covering, and then you eat the vanilla. It's all, it's how it's done.
Chip,
Yeah, buddy.
we're gonna shut it down.
I understand. It's time.
I'm really glad that you finally got back here to do
Thanks for
this.
having
I really
me.
am. Chip, you're one of my faves, dude. I always appreciate you. I always dig you. When I see you in a waiting room, I'm like, Chip's here.
And I like seeing you. You're fun. We have a fun group of people.
We do. I always say that.
Yeah.
Character actors in Hollywood are the best actors that I know.
It's fun. I've been to a card game with a bunch of soap actors. Boring. They're not riffing. They're not having fun, and that's
No.
our whole thing.
Yeah.
Goofing around.
Yep. Goofing
Hoping Evan
around.
Arnold comes in the room.
Yes, and like I said, Evan Arnold. Evan and I talked about you today with Molly Bryant, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Chip.
Yeah.
Last thing.
Yes.
Look in there. Tell everybody bye.
Bye, guys.